Welcome back to day 2 of the speaker challenge. I'm so excited to be back with you. Yay! I want to hear how it went yesterday. Who can tell me what we studied, what we learned, what sparked our souls? What did we learn about, and what was a good takeaway that you have or have been working on, even going for the stellar student? Anyone remember what we worked on yesterday? Sid, give it to us. What did we work on yesterday? She's trying to get the mute.
We worked on the why and the what. I discovered, my takeaway is I discovered I keep wanting to do the how. That the how
We're in
is
the right place.
the how keeps coming in my brain. So I've got to clarify.
I love it. I love it. And getting back to the why and the what, that's so important, because then you know what you're actually going to be teaching. So I love that you see, okay, wait, I got to work on my message, make sure I got that clear. Anyone else have a takeaway that they wanted to share?
This is Kim.
Hi, sweetie.
Hi, I just have a lot of trouble always kind of narrowing it down, like, to get the tool, or I have so much trouble with that. I want to help everybody. I want to so that's my biggest challenge, I think, is just narrowing it down to be very specific.
I think that's most of us, our challenge, and not trying, like you said, to reach every single person, but being satisfied with reaching a core group, and then you can radiate and satellite out, right? And that is the best way to go about it. Love. One more person. Anyone else? A takeaway from yesterday? I loved your comments yesterday. It was so fun to see the things that were helpful. All right, let's just go ahead and jump in. So, love that we talked about the why and the what, and now you know kind of a general idea of why you're doing this and what the message is. And again, reminding you, this is just a Costco sample. It is not comprehensive. We're just giving you little bits, okay? So that way you can move forward. Today, we're talking about the how, and Sid is going to be so happy about that. So the how. And I need to make it clear that as a speaker, you are never there. You're never like, oh, and now I am the perfect speaker. I've been doing this for almost 30 years, and I still get butterflies when I speak. I still am slaving over a keynote and thinking, oh, is this the right thing to say to this group, right? I'm praying about it. I'm thinking about it. I can say there's less stress to it, and I have more tools at my disposal, so I'm having more fun doing it. But I'm also always improving. So remember, that is a key point of being a good speaker, is that you are always going to be improving. So you're going to get used to it, and you're going to get used to using that feedback. You want that feedback and you want to apply it. So I'm going to share a quick story on this. Years ago, many moons, like 25 years ago or so, I was speaking especially for youth. And in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, that's the big program for youth. And now it's FSY, for Strength of Youth. But EFY speaker. And I was doing really well. I can say that I was doing really well. The audiences, the teens were really enjoying it and had great feedback, and my evaluations were great. And I was thinking everything was great. And then unbeknownst to us as speakers, they had someone come through and kind of do a little eval on all of the speakers in that particular time frame. So we get an email, which I was so grateful. They were so classy about how they did this. They didn't pull us aside and go, you stink. What they did is they sent an email and said, love you guys, so appreciate you. And these are things that we are seeing in speaking. See if anything applies to you. Isn't that a great way to do that? So I read through those things that are essentially what you're doing wrong. And I read through those, and I was doing about 2/3 of the things wrong. Now, I could have at that moment said, "Stop, Summer." Like, I could have said, hey, the teens are loving it. If they're totally responding it, we're fine. I'm fine. But the thought came, I'm not always going to be talking to teenagers, right? And I'm going to want to be at a level where I can speak anywhere and to anyone. I better buckle down and make sure I'm doing this better. So I did, bit by bit, and it helped my speaking so much that now I'm still speaking 25 years later, and in a variety of places and in ways that make me feel so happy and are so aligned with my purpose. So I do share that today, that these do's and don'ts are really important. That being said, as I'm sharing the 3 do's and the 3 don'ts, I'm inviting you to not stress and try to fix all of them right now. Just think of one that resonates as I'm sharing them, that goes right to your soul, and you go, that's the one for me right now. All right, got your pens ready? Here we go. You have your packet. If you don't download it, it's the 3 do's, 3 don'ts. So you have it in one place, one-stop shop. Here we go. Number 1, filler words. You knew that was coming. Filler words. What are your favorite filler words? Like, what's your favorite? You can put it in the chat. What are your favorite ones that are the hard ones? I know there is a global speaker, and he said when he watched himself on a thing, I think he had 112 ums. And when he very first started out. So look for the filler words. See what patterns you see and what you keep repeating, and then what you can do to take that out. Because that exactly, so, like, so, anyways, yes. And other people say, right? You see that in some speakers, especially when they're not feeling self-confident. They'll be like, right? I might even do that. You can nail me on that. Second thing, and we are moving briskly because I told you I wanted to keep it to about 10 minutes. So that's a real stretch for me. So we will do our best. Misuse of movement. Have you seen a speaker before that does a lot of this? And they're doing a lot of movement, and you can't focus on their words because they've got so much going on here. I had to pause for a minute because I was laughing. I thought about Elder Uchtdorf and how his airline pilot, and he would always go like this, but I noticed it's kind of settled down over the past few years. But think about distracting movement. Now on this, studies actually show that intentional movement is more engaging to an audience than if you just keep your hands by your side, right? Or just at this thing down here. So the key word there is what? Intentional movement, right? I did right. So intentional movement. You don't want to be doing a lot of this just to move and feel like you're taking up space. Intentional movement is something like that, where I'm making a point, or I'm showing a thing, or I'm sharing a gesture, or something that adds to what it is I'm talking about, and it's not annoying. Third thing is being boring. That seems like an obvious don't, but so many speakers are boring. I love, is it E.B. White, the writer? Who is it that said, you write a book, or is it Alfred Hitchcock? You write something, I think he was talking about movies. You do the movie, and then you take out all the boring parts. There was an author, I'll figure it out. That was just on the fly. But he said, you write it. How do you write a successful book? You write it, and then you take out all the boring parts. I think that is a real principle for success. So how do you know if you're boring? You listen to yourself, and then you realize where you have become boring. Now, how is it that you're boring? What ways do you think that you could be boring? When you've listened to a talk, raise your hand if you have been in a boring talk. Yeah, classes, college. I'm just saying. We won't even get into high council talk. So anyway, think about what it was that was making you feel bored. What is it? What are some of the things that have made you feel bored? Go ahead, Katrina.
Going on and on and on about the same thing, like too much repetition and keep on talking and saying the same thing over and over again.
Oh, reiterating, and just in different ways, but reiterating. Love it. Sid, too much detail, on tangents, robotic voice from Adrina, talking about themselves the entire time. Oh, exactly. Jordan.
I was trying to type it in. Slow delivery.
Yeah. Don't you feel like they're getting, and just get to it. Just get to it. I'm already there. Just, exactly. So boring. Not giving you takeaways, not giving you solutions, not helping you to actually get something useful that you can say, I can walk away from this and it was beneficial. So don't be boring. So here's the action item on this. Film yourself speaking for 5 minutes and then look for those things. Look for when you disengaged. So look for when you were bored, distracted, you stopped listening. Look for that. Where was the point that you stopped being engaged? Now in engineering, they do what's called a threshold evaluation and inspection. And they want to make sure, the goal is that they can find out where the threshold of the load is so that they avoid catastrophic consequences. That's what we want. No catastrophic consequences in our speaking. So look for the threshold, that cutoff threshold. When you're listening, and the second that you start getting distracted, the second that you're not listening where you're thinking grocery list, you're thinking, I want that brownie on the counter, that's your cutoff threshold. Go back and say, what did I do wrong? All right, so those are the don'ts. We got that? Solid? All right, let's move in right to the do's. First do is keep it concise. Think water cooler conversation. Think sound bites. Think what is an easy, simple way for people to remember what it is I'm talking about. So who can give me an ad jingle that comes to mind right away? Just unmute and just do an ad jingle.
Nike, just do it.
First one I thought of, just do it. They're genius. Their actual mission is about this long, but they just put just do it as their tagline. So genius. Any others that come to mind? McDonald's, I'm loving it. De Beers, A Diamond Lasts Forever. Staples, that was easy. Disneyland, happiest place on earth, right? All of it, right? Oh, now I'm paying attention to how often I say right. I only did it twice, so that's not bad. So I encourage you to think in terms of, it doesn't mean all of your conversation, you do not want to speak entirely in sound bites. That's obnoxious. But you want to make a point and then have that sound bite that they can walk away with and go, oh, it builds character. That's what she was saying to teach her kids. It builds character. Whatever that sound bite is, think of it in keeping it concise. Second, speak eye to eye and heart to heart. When you're speaking, do not glaze out and just be thinking, what's the next thing I'm supposed to say? What was my next point? What was the quote I was supposed to be saying? Know your material well enough that you can speak eye to eye and heart to heart. Your words matter and your words carry power. But if you're speaking like this and you're thinking, what is the next thing? Versus, I know that this principle will actually bless your life if you will practice it, is so different. I even see that with the Savior. The Savior, it says, and the Word was with God, right? The Word. And that word is what God was actually sharing with us. So he was sharing literally his word through the Savior. The Savior used his words. So think about how you're going to use the words that you say to go eye to eye and heart to heart so that those words can resonate soul to soul. That's what we want. And the last thing is speak in stories. Learn how to masterfully tell a story. If there was one skill that I would encourage you to learn how to do, it's that. Learn how to speak in stories. Learn how to tell the tale. Learn how to show, don't tell. The Savior was a master at this with parables. And then everybody got the layered level of learning that they needed. So consider, what is a key story that would share that one tool that I encouraged you to get yesterday, to think of what that could possibly be. So again, speak in stories. You notice I started out with what? A story. I started with the story today so that that could capture attention and help you to understand the value of what we're talking about today. All right, so those are the 3 do's and don'ts, so important. Any thoughts on anything that I've shared today, a do or a don't that really resonated with you today?
The eye to eye and heart to heart. That's so important in connecting and feeling like you're actually sharing the message that you need to get across for him.
Love that for him. I love that. And you can feel the difference when someone's giving a speech and when they're connecting and engaging with you. And that makes all the difference. Anyone else have a do or a don't that they want to do? Go ahead.
I love the homework to film yourself. It will make a huge difference. I've experienced it a few times where I have sat and just watched, where are the filler words? Where am I boring? Where am I? And it has up-leveled my ability to speak so much better by being comfortable filming yourself. And I promise it will be uncomfortable at first, but as you keep on doing it, it's awesome. And you'll just see yourself progress, and it's awesome.
Love that. And it is so true. I actually started back on voice lessons. And so we're doing it through Zoom. And I had to watch it to practice. I'm doing it while I'm doing my makeup this morning to practice doing all the little vocalises. And I'm watching it and I'm looking at the way that I'm doing stuff and the way that I speak. And I've realized I'm actually trying to pull back on speaking so forcefully because I realized I'm so intense in the way that I speak. And that I'm giving people a headache. I need to pull back. And I've probably done that for 10 minutes today. But it's, you guys, it's so helpful. I'm realizing, wow, I can just pull that, simmer down. I don't have to be, marshal the forces every time I'm talking to someone. And speaking of, does anybody have one more that they want to share, a do or a don't? I would love to hear what you're feeling and thinking. Mary Beth, did you have one? Nope, because I just saw it go off mute and I'm like, okay, Adrina.
So the one when we were supposed to speak in stories, that one, that's like my goal. My dad, he spoke at EFY as well, and he was so good at speaking in stories, and they would just be so impactful. And so I know, like, this group of kids, like, if they ever think of root beer, they think about how Jesus Christ is our brother and he will never lead us astray. Like, it's just so, his stories were just so impactful. And so I really like that idea, but I'm scared to film myself to to know if I'm telling a story that's not boring. Anyways.
I love it. Better to know in the privacy of your own closet than to go and share it with the world and not know, right? Oh, I hope you'll share that story in the comments below, because I know we got to wrap up. I wanted to share this last thought with sweet Katrina, who is one of our disciple thought leaders, and she is certifying for being a speaker with us. And it's been so wonderful to see her speak at our retreats and speak at events, that she has this ability to be able to convey and engage in being able to get that message across to the audience and then invite them to act and inspire them to do so. So I just wanted to, I don't even know what she's going to share. I just asked her to share something about what she's learned on the how of speaking. So Katrina, take it away.
Thanks, Connie. So I've always wanted to be a speaker. And like at age 14, I had this dream and this goal to speak at BYU Education Week. And and it wasn't until I joined Connie and I've been able to work with actually the details of being a speaker that I've seen that I have some natural talent, but there are skills and levels and abilities. And I'll second what Connie said. You're never there, but it's this process and it's this progress, and it just feels so exhilarating to be able to say, okay, what do I need to work on now? What's next? And just to take one little step at a time. And so, like I said, you'll feel uncomfortable with the filming at first, but then you'll go, oh, I see it now. And trust me, I've had plenty of boring experiences of myself being boring. And now I've learned how to work through those and learned how to up level each step of the way. So don't get discouraged, and just take these little things and take one at a time and say, okay, I want to do this time. I want to do this with this talk I'm giving or this class I'm teaching, and you'll get there.
Love it. Thank you for that hope-filled thought. It has been so powerful to watch her speak and engage, and she speaks with that precision and that, but warmth and compassion, but being able to get that point across and be able to say, this is going to bless your life. And then, wow, I want to do that. So I love that baby steps for me from Mary Beth. I love it. Ladies, this has been so fun. I love that you've joined us again. I encourage you to try practicing this today in some form. Maybe it's just going about your day and not saying like, or right. I know I have already been benefited by that today and learned a new thing that maybe I'm doing I didn't realize. So love it. Thank you so much. And please, we invite you to comment below. The winner for our Amazon gift card is Ingrid, but I don't see her today, and you have to be present to win. We may need to choose another name, and we will look at the women who are present here today, and then we will choose from those names, because we want to make sure that you get rewarded for showing up. All right. And then tomorrow we will be talking another point. We're doing the how and then the who. Tomorrow we're doing the who. So join us tomorrow, practice this today, and then get ready for Friday, because our Speaker in a Day page is going to go live. You guys get a huge discount if you're interested in it. So we're going to reveal all that on Friday, and a free ticket to Speaker in a Day for those who have commented throughout the week. Thank you for your awesome comments yesterday. They were so helpful. Remember, people are watching this, and when they come back on, they see those comments and they're inspired by them. So thank you so much. All right. Love you, ladies. We'll see you tomorrow.